It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Population 11 aired premieres only on Stan. It is a Stan original series, and we've got the rest of our chat with the lead in it is an actor called Ben Feldman. You might have seen him on Superstore. He's
So good. He played Jonah on Superstore.
He's a joy and a delight. He's the rest of our chat.
Population 11, right, is you're of course American, and you come back to look for your Australian father who lives in this town. Population 11 is there's usually 12 people that live in this town, but your father is missing and then presumed dead. I have to say it's so funny because there's some things that really ring true, and I wonder if it's just an Australian thing or if it's around the world. But the Chinese restaurant that basically sells meat pies is so funny because there's a place, it's just in Perth here. Many years ago, I popped into this deli, so it was like a normal, like a 7-Eleven, right? But mainly just like food and all this sort of stuff. But just on one wall, a complete giant wall, was a wall of hair extensions. I was like, what's that?
We love a crossover.
Yeah, a mashup. No, that was definitely bizarre to me. That the idea of that cafe, but to me, this whole experience, I didn't know what was funny and strange and entertaining to you all, to you mob, as you guys say, and what is just typical Australian. So I had to rely on the other Australians there to be like, mate, just so you know, this is not Australia. My wife's mad at me.
Stop doing that.
Because like for me, I would be like, well, wait, don't you guys see crocodiles all the time? Are crocodiles like living in your backyard? Like, no, dude, no. This is crazy to us too.
Yes.
By the way, being up in Derby, you would have seen 100 kangaroos getting around the place and sleeping on the main road, I would have thought.
Can't drive at night because you're going to hit them and crash. So all of the animals are homicidal. The bugs are the size of my head. The snakes are all out to kill you. It's just landmines everywhere, but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I never thought that I would find cockatoos in America are these beautiful exotic birds that you own as a pet. I didn't know they were like these pesky, loud things that like follow you around and scream at you.
Yes.
Until I got to northwestern Australia.
There's so many of them.
When you were filming, did your wife come and join you while you were filming?
No. I actually visited her. She and my whole family were in Italy, which, by the way, anybody who wants to have a fun time traveling, catch a last minute flight from Northwest Australia to Florence. It's a breeze.
How small was the plane getting out of there?
Oh my God. It was so 3 hours to Broome, Broome flight to Perth to Singapore to Munich to Florence.
Ben,
and somehow I still only had like 20 minutes in Munich. Like I almost didn't get on the plane. It was insane.
Hey,
but,
Ben,
that's amazing.
But when you go to meet up with your wife, she wants to see the best version of you and doesn't take into consideration of all those flights.
36-hour journey.
No. Yeah, every single person, because I'm executive producing the show and I'm in almost every scene, so I'm exhausted. I'm working constantly. When I was leaving, everybody on the set was just like, just go, relax, enjoy your vacation. And it's like, absolutely not. You get there, and my wife's like, here's the 2 children you haven't seen in 2 months. I'm going to take a nap. I'll see you at the end of the week.
And you're right. Crikey, mate.
And also, as like a dad, you can't be like, Daddy's going to go take a nap. Like, they're finally seeing you for the first time.
Bastard.
So what was the most surprising thing? Because we got a basketball player called Jordan Usher who comes in here, and he's from America, and he said, he goes, I understand the sun's hot. He goes, but no one on earth is the sun hotter than it is here in Perth. What did you experience that you didn't realise was the reality in Australia?
It felt pretty similar. I mean, the crew, I spent all my time around crew and actors, and they all sort of were the Australian versions of crew and actors that I know and love back home. There was, and I was prepared for the elements. It actually wasn't as sort of hot and abusive as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I think for me, I was just constantly fascinated by how strange this language is, how you guys abbreviate absolutely everything.
That's true.
Just everything from a doco to a servo. Like everybody's name is just the first letter of their name plus as, which is crazy to me.
Feldo, sure.
And just weird little things like, we say capillaries, you say capillaries, which is just destroys my brain.
We say capsicum, you say, was it peppers?
Bell peppers.
Yeah, bell peppers.
Yeah. Oh, you guys call, wait, what is it? You call Coriander.
Coriander.
Yeah. But what is that really?
You call it cilantro.
Cilantro.
Yes.
They're different things. Those are different things.
Are they different
we have
things?
Both of those. Yes, both cilantro and coriander exist in the States.
Okay, because I believed that cilantro was your name for coriander.
No. When you're having Mexican food, like cilantro goes in guacamole, and it goes, it's got its own place. And coriander, it's a different thing.
No, we only have one.
Well, last time we saw Sean Darcy was in the studio before he went on his holidays. He went over to the US and did some touring. So give us a rundown of where you went, mate.
Yep, so my best mate, he lives in Austin, Texas. He's been there for about 3 years, so I go visit him and spend a week there. And then
Free accommodation?
Yeah, it was nice. And then we went to New York and met some schoolmates in New York. And then I met JL, Moose, Alex Pierce, Caleb Sarong and Hayden Young in New Orleans. And we did New Orleans,
That's fun.
Dallas.
But what do you
San
mean by
Antonio.
do New Orleans? So you got the coach and you got some big name players there. So give us what we did.
So we just toured a lot of college and NFL and NBA facilities.
It was a work trip.
Yeah,
so
it was
you
a
could
work trip.
tax it up.
Did you stop off anywhere and just have a bite to eat? Or,
No,
or
it was
just
just
work?
Did
no
you
work, no
perhaps
fun.
stroll down Bourbon Street once or twice during your visit there?
What's Bourbon Street?
What's Bourbon
This
Street?
Bourbon
I've
Street
never been.
of which you speak.
How does one get beads? I know that girls get beads by flashing, but how does the boys get beads? Can boys get beads? Well, did you hear on the travels?
I didn't get beads, but I was stuck in the hotel the whole time.
Darth could get beads because he could take the mark of the beads as they're being thrown down. He can take them over the top of the girl's head, I would think.
Talking about that, seeing a giant Australian over there must have been exciting for everyone. How will they react to this tall drink of not even water, cordial, tall drink of Gatorade?
No, it was funny. A lot of them just like, you got to play basketball. I was walking in New York, I think, with my mate, and this guy was next to me. He's like, "Hey, brother, if you can't catch an alley-oop, we fighting."
I'm wondering about Big Moose too, because he would have had his hair down, big flowing locks that passed his shoulders, and he's 6'6".
Yeah, he was loving it too. His girlfriend's from America too, so he spent a fair bit of time in America. So it was good fun. Really good trip.
None of us, apart from Harry, none of us have been to NFL clubs and big time sporting thing. What are they like? How can you compare them to what we've got here?
Yeah, it's on a different level. So we spent I think 3 days with the New Orleans Saints, and I was sitting in like tight end meetings, offensive meetings, team meetings.
Oh, really?
Did you think,
About the tight ass meetings?
I could play this?
No, the level of detail compared to our game is so incredible because it's so stop-start.
It's very strategic.
What do they think of our game?
Yeah, they just no idea.
Baffled
no
by
idea.
it. Yeah.
So we had Lou Headley, who was the punter for the Saints, and he's from Mandurah, so he grew up. So he sort of explained a little bit, but didn't get much. But yeah, the detail that they went, I sat in a tight end meeting for about an hour and a half, and they did probably 150 clips of just like, your left foot's wrong here and you're standing.
Yeah, so it's that pedantic.
It's next level.
Wow.
So,
how amazing.
and then they were going through plays. I was like, I can't even understand the play, let alone know what it does.
Were they all massive units? Like
the tight ends were really big.
Your size, or you were bigger than them?
My size, and then the running backs, wide receivers were a bit smaller, but they move ridiculously quick.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Austin weird. I've heard that a lot, and they celebrate how weird Austin is.
Yeah.
Is it as kooky and cool as what they say?
It's cool. I like Austin. I've been there a fair bit because my best mate, he lives in Austin, and the bars and the music scene is really cool down there, and they have a festival once a year called Austin City Limits Festival. That
so you were there for that?
Yeah, I've been there twice now.
Amazing.
So it was good fun.
Yeah. Now but meanwhile, back at home, what about your puppy?
Yeah,
So now because he's a Great Dane, and when we left you, I think I bumped into you in the supermarket car park, and you showed him to me, and he was asleep on the back seat of the car. He was adorable. Yeah. How big is he now?
I weighed him yesterday, and he was 59 kilos.
What?
Yeah,
wow.
So
how old now?
He's 8 months old.
Jeez.
So he's not even fully grown yet?
No, he's got a bit more. I reckon he'll get to 70.
What breed is he again?
Great Dane.
Great Dane.
Yeah.
Great Dane. Well, you know what?
It makes sense.
It makes sense. You couldn't have a pug.
You
look like
can't
an
have
idiot.
a chihuahua.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he's great. I love him.
Duke.
He gets me out.
Duke,
Gets me out of the bed this morning, walking down on the park, and
Yeah.
it's good fun.
Nice.
And how's your living situation? Who are you living with now?
I'm still by myself. So, yeah.
Still renovating the house?
Yeah, so I moved out and then hopefully, Renos start in a few weeks and off we go.
We can have our tradies when they're
something
done.
like that.
Yeah, I moved into Blake Acres' place, so
did you?
yeah, so I'll stay in there until my renos are done, and then
nice.
So worked out
Good
pretty
setup
well.
there. Good spare bedroom.
There's a spare bed.
And the dog's happy.
Dog's very happy, very happy. So.
I'm very concerned about the dog's welfare.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
We are talking about spending a night in the lockup.
We never have.
No, we never have.
And now I feel like we've really disappointed everybody.
I know.
There must have been. It must have been close a few times.
I mean, I was going to say, you are the most likely out of the
yeah,
three.
definitely.
To be honest, reasons to be put in the lockup, heaps of them.
Yes.
Heaps, but just never been caught.
Well, let's find out what it's like. Chris has given us a call. Hi, Chris.
Hiya, how are you?
Hey,
wonderful,
Chris. Okay, what's your lockup experience?
Well, it wasn't actually me. My partner had been out with his friend and got a bit drunk and ended up in lockup. I got a phone call saying they're going to keep him overnight until he sobers up.
Yes.
The next morning, I got a phone call saying it's okay to come pick him up. I said, it's all right if I speak to him. So they put him on the phone, and I said, I'm on my way to come pick you up now. He goes, we're just about to have lunch. Can you come after lunch?
Can you come up?
What were they having, Chris, that was so important?
What's the catering like?
Well, I think they had like burgers and chips as well as like some salad and Coke.
And he would have been starving because he's hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I essentially I became just like a taxi that next morning, and so I had to wait an extra hour and a half for him
to finish lunch.
He wanted to have his lunch.
So of course you would have asked the question: was it delicious?
Well, he was very satisfied when he got back in the car.
Albeit a bit and also, it's free, right? So it's part of the
it's free.
Part of the deal.
Because when you're in jail, you don't
not
get a bill afterwards, do you?
Not like an ambulance service or anything.
Well, like you've stayed here now. Now it's time to settle up your room.
Yeah. No. I mean, the minibar's pretty lousy. But
hey, Chris, when you pick up your partner from the lockup, do you give him a stern talking to, or
like you're their dad?
Yeah.
No, it was more just laughing at them because when I spoke to the police the night before, they told me what he'd done. And essentially, he just kept falling over a curb and he thought it was a staircase, so he kept falling up the curb.
So he was trying to go down the stairs and couldn't.
He sounds like heaps of fun. That's I gotta say.
How long have you two been together for now, Chris?
About 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going well.
We want to come drinking with him. He sounds awesome. Thanks, Chris. Also in June, love, Tomo. Hello.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good
Tomo. Have you been in the lockup, mate?
I have. When I was a bit younger, back in just outside of Glasgow, the local circus was in town, and me and a mate, we ended up taking a camel for a bit of a joyride around Glasgow.
Well, as you do.
Tomo, a camel. Okay, so what's the lockup like in Glasgow?
I mean, it wasn't quite the Pan Pacific from what I remember, but it was a cardboard mattress on the floor and a steel toilet that had no privacy. So
yeah,
right. And did you get a meal? Did you get some food?
I wasn't really in the state to eat anything else.
He had to share it with the camel. So.
Two blokes in a camel. Camel's like, where did I get in here?
That's amazing. Thanks, Tomo.
Let's finish up with Maddie from Southern River. Hey, Maddie.
How you going, guys?
Good, Maddie. You know what? By the sounds of it, lockup is heaps of fun.
What happened?
What happened?
The end of it was, the start wasn't too flash. I was back in New Zealand at a wedding, and they had an unlimited milkshake bar, which, me being a dairy lover, I definitely sampled the milkshakes.
Yes.
And it was a rainy winter's night, so I decided that I wanted to go for a walk in the rain. Found a taxi, and he wouldn't let me out, so I wouldn't get out. So the police took me to the lockup.
That's a big difference.
Sorry.
That was an abduction there for a second.
Maddie, why don't you want to get out? Because it's raining.
You guys didn't want to walk in the rain.
I didn't want to walk in the rain.
Yeah.
Okay, fair call.
Yeah.
And so the police decided that I needed to sober up from the milkshakes.
Yes.
So they took me to the sober cell. But when I walked in there, so I'm already dripping wet. I'd lost my shoes.
Milk mustache.
The mattress had already been urinated on from the last person.
Oh, come on.
No. Where's the
I've got a
class?
few hours sleep on the concrete floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when I woke up, one of the officers said, all right, mate, you can go. Here's 2 sausage rolls and a carton of chocolate milk.
Oh,
Mate, I was like...
That's great.
Can you just pick me up next Saturday? My missus doesn't even give me breakfast. I'm in bed.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Our old mate, Matt Preston, is in the house. It's like having royalty here, isn't it?
It is
Proper
great.
royalty.
Really bad royalty.
No, it's like having Photoshopped
from
royalty.
like someone like Andorra. Here he is, the third in line to the crown of Andorra. 12,000 people.
Well, I would believe that if you told us that.
We were discussing about the fact that you've got an entourage with your gang, but you've decided it's a squad.
It's a squad.
Yeah.
We've decided it's a squad. Taylor Swift style, it's a squad.
Are you just playing golf? And when you go to Rottnest, did you play golf at Rotto?
No.
Do you go lunch in the pub?
We had this whole debate about do we play golf or do we actually have a day just on the beach? So we had it over beach. And I'm just going to say, there've been all these things recently. Best beach in Australia.
Yeah.
Rotto's got about 4 of them just
No,
there.
I'm from Esperance. Esperance has got about 15 of them. It's extraordinary.
But
Kalgoorlie has none.
But Rotto's warm, and
Yeah,
they've got
that's
those
true.
really good sand dunes.
In
And
my
it's
mind,
like,
you
oh my
going to the
gosh.
beach. You going to the beach. I can imagine. This is in my mind. You've got zinc on your nose.
People
you've got
trying to roll me back into the
You've got
water.
your little board shorts on. You got a little t-shirt on with a shirt over top, right? You got like a cane beach hat on. You've got zinc on your nose and you've got a bucket and a spade. Am I right? And a flotation device.
It's a unicorn.
Yes, something from BCF.
I love a flotation device. I love a bucket and spade. I mean, how good is making sandcastles? Everyone's like that. No, I'm irresponsible. I'm the one asleep on the beach who hasn't reapplied. Little cheeky suggestion of crack peeking out from the long board.
Oh, well.
You know the way it is.
Hello,
You never adjust. You never adjust when you sleep. And then I'll be overexcited in the water. I mean, I love it. I love it. That turquoise water.
Do you go for a
amazing.
swim, or are you just in the shallow and just splashing with your entourage? You stop it, Jeff. No, you.
No, you know the way you do 4 really impressive strokes and then you stop.
Yeah.
Listen, my freestyle. I can make it all the way back from Fremantle.
What base were you in that you love there, Matt?
Don't ask me. I don't know. The one when I was about to have a heart attack. The one when I was really sweaty. That I can do it more by
we know the one.
Because this is the thing. No one tells you that
That's little
Rottnest
parakeet,
Has
obviously.
no cars.
has hills.
Yeah,
The cars
heaps
are
of hills.
hills.
Heaps of hills.
No, I thought it's an island, and it doesn't look very high when you look at it.
Yeah.
You can see the
Over
sun
the
going
top.
down of it. It's very flat, but there's lots of hills, and that seemed to be wrong. I
You
wasn't
got
expecting
to
it at all.
earn your swim.
Well, especially when you're on an oil bike and all those people are whizzing past on electric rides going, hello.
And what did you have for lunch?
We had a cheese and beetroot salad from the bakery there, and then we came back and had a nice couple of cocktails at the Mez overlooking that break and where the
Mez.
ferries are. They were really good. It's just fantastic. Isn't it brilliant though? Ferries all full, loads of people, loads of tourists here at the moment. I mean, it's weird when we went through that period of no one being here.
Yeah,
now
I know.
And it was a Tuesday. I mean, that's the same. Everywhere went, the restaurants were full and busy. It was fantastic.
But saying on Tuesday, so sometimes when you look around these people doing amazing things on this Tuesday, it's like, who are you?
Why
are you
work?
here on a Tuesday? Like, what is it? You all can't be visiting.
You can't all be in Matt Preston's posse.
It's when you go to Crown sometimes, you look down at the pool. It's like, who are you in the cabana? What are you doing?
Well, but it's that mix of young Europeans travelling and people over 60s whose kids have left home just going, yes!
You know what? It's gross. Keep it to yourself. We're working.
Sorry. Let's define working by what time do you knock off today? Oh, 9:30. Is it? Oh, yeah. I'll say 5-minute air check. Yeah, you shouldn't have said that, Nathan. And then
We don't do it. We just take everything we shouldn't have said. Basically,
you could be on that 10 o'clock ferry out to Rottnest in your all over zinc.
Zinc?
All over zinc.
Zinc and a parasol.
We were discussing yesterday.
Sungloves.
We were discussing this yesterday.
Yeah, blow me away.
Okay, so how long do you think it's been since Nathan has had a swim?
Go. Guess. Start thinking.
Well, I would assume you live in Perth and the water's so inviting. Surely, probably this weekend. Surely 3-4 days.
Longer. Keep going.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's you. You love showing off your body. A week.
Longer. Keep going.
Okay.
You're going to have to go in bigger chunks.
Okay. Let's go a year.
Longer.
What, you haven't?
Longer?
Like 3 years?
Don't shock
3
now.
years? 3 years?
Longer.
10 years?
Longer.
I can't believe it. 15.
Longer.
20.
At least.
Why? Well, not even when you go. Do you just go skiing holidays and art holidays, looking at pictures in the Prado?
Yes, I go to skiing art holidays.
I'm just going to go. Well, it's like, I would have thought you'd be. You strike me, Nathan, as a. You strike me as Bali, Canggu Beach Club. You strike me as clubbing all night. Oh, down the beach.
No.
In a shade, cocktails, have a dunk to try and wash your head out, and then come back out. Never
I
done.
think I'm striking you wrong.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
We're blessed with Jeremy McGovern being in the house.
Hey, we were just discussing the Sam Kerr situation, and as a professional athlete, we were wondering what the deal is. So we found out that Sam was put in the lockup that night, and she didn't tell any of her football bosses.
Well, we don't know she didn't tell Chelsea, but she didn't tell Australian football.
Yeah. God, if she had told Chelsea, you would have thought they would have got, Anyway.
Yeah. So what are the protocols, because this has happened to you a lot, of when you get done by the police for something, or if you were to spend a night in lockup, what are the protocols?
Yeah, well, most weekends when I get caught by the police, No,
you just have a pocket full of tickets you offer them? Is that the way it works?
No, unfortunately not at the moment. They won't take the tickets from us, but no, we've obviously we got to let the club know and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's all dealt from there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen too often.
No.
At all. So not this day and age.
What about back in the day, Sean? When you're playing, everything was a bit looser back then.
Yeah,
there would have been people going to jail left, right, and centre.
How it didn't happen to you,
I don't want to incriminate people. We had someone who worked at the club who used to be really high up in the police force.
Okay, so connections.
And this person was the first person you rang. You rang this person, and he would help you navigate a lot of the
So it's the cleaner. So as we see in American sort of TV shows.
And I'm not talking about really bad crimes or anything. Like, I don't know, crash a car.
They just know the processes to go through. So your first port of call was this guy.
Yeah. And this person knew every police person under the sun. So
he'd call favours.
Sometimes things would you'd get a fine or they would just disappear. In a nutshell. Yeah, and I mean, he was amazing, this person. We would be in Melbourne, right, and there would be a traffic jam, and he'd ring the cops, and then they'd turn up in front of the bus, and then they'd part the seas, and we'd drive to the stadium.
I'm sorry, who is this person? I'm sorry. This person can make a phone call and then clear a road.
In another city. Gov, do you have one of those?
Yeah, we do.
Do you just call him all the time because there's a bit of traffic and stuff?
Yeah, all the time, even if it's nothing to do with football. I'm heading down south and there's a bit of a bottleneck there. I'll just give him a buzz.
Hey, get those boys.
That's amazing. And
so, Gov, what we haven't discussed on there, but we mentioned you off, the stuff with Harley Reid, right? The poor guy is only 18 years of age, and he's number one draft pick and all that. But I don't think any of us have seen, and Ben Cousins was at the height of his powers as a mad celebrity in Perth before he was a celebrity for other things. Nick Natanui, who's been the biggest thing and such a lovely guy and big celebrity in WA and around Australia. But this has superseded this massively without even playing a game and without even... I don't know. They've just made it. It seems like it's been made up and
I did mention to you before, Gov, as a person that's not in the world of football. To me, the first game that he plays, the power of him, he will just levitate into the air and glow, and then he will change football forever.
The Messiah,
from what the West Australian says.
He's the airbender.
So I'm just wondering, are they setting him up
for failure?
For failure,
too much pressure.
Yes, too much pressure. Sorry, not setting him up for failure because he's got the goods, but.
Yeah, you hope they're not setting him up for failure for sure, but it does seem like they're putting a lot of extra pressure on him. He's handling it so well at the moment. He's such a good kid.
Well, he has to, doesn't he?
He's a good country boy, so he's handling it well. But he's 18. He hasn't played a game of footy, and everything that's going on, you just
take
a step back. Just try and just let him play footy. That's all he wants to do is play some footy, and if off the back of his footy, do whatever you want, but just please just. Take it easy on him. He's only an 18-year-old kid, like I said.
So he hasn't played
it sort of feels like, even though it's reporting, it feels like stalking. It really does. The photo of him grabbing his crotch the other day, I don't see what the reason for that was.
Yeah.
And it seems to be there's no reason at all for most days for him to be in there.
There's no new story.
So it feels like it's crossed the line.
Has the
I
fines
think so.
master
I
been
think you're
fining
right.
him every time he's on the back page?
Nah, we give him credits for if that was the case, he'd be broke.
That would have been the
He would be
story.
broke.
He would be broke.
What,
if we
one
fined
a
him.
carton, who would be the number one alcohol supplier in WA?
Yeah, no, poor Harley would be broke if we fined
Yeah.
him with all the attention he's
I
been
know.
getting. But look, it is what it is, and you know what? It probably comes with the number 9. Obviously, you just spoke about Cuzzy, Nick Nat.
yeah, there's that.
He slid into that, so no one
Did
picked.
he put his hand up to be number 9, or was it thrust upon
I
him?
don't know. I haven't asked him, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have loved
would.
to take it.
'Cause
Yeah,
you're
I
right,
remember.
there's
It's a
bit-
great number. Yeah,
The,
so,
the legacy.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't mean you have to be on the
No, I know.
front and square on the back page of the West every single
well,
day of the year.
maybe that's in the fine print for number 9.
Maybe.
We don't
maybe.
know, but
Possibly.
yeah, no, he's handled it really well, Harley, and hopefully he gets an opportunity this week and can just start playing footy because that's what he loves doing.
Yeah.
And that's what he's over here to do is play good footy. And well, I'm looking forward to hopefully playing many games with him.
Port Adelaide Sunday is going to be a huge clash, mate.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you back, Gov.
Absolutely, Gov. Lovely
You're an
to see you.
inspiration.
Thank you, Nathan.
No, thank you for what you do for us.
No, thank you.
And Perth.
And you've never looked fitter. You
Oh,
look
I
ready
know.
to go.
It's just like an ab
I
with
know.
a mouth.
All those people that go, look at Jeremy
That would
McGovern,
be
he's so fat.
distressing.
There's not an ounce of fat on this man.
He's fit as a fiddle, this guy.
All right,
for
good
sure.
on you, Gov. We'll see you again soon.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
On Monday, new time for Tipping Point Australia, everybody. It's going a little later. It's going to 5 o'clock. That's a sexy time slot. The host, Todd Woodbridge, joins us right now. Todd, welcome.
Good morning,
G'day, Todd.
Good morning, everybody. Great to be on. You guys are the early risers, and
Yeah.
we fill in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
but you're the living legend. So,
yeah,
you
that's
know.
very kind, but
Yeah.
no.
We're just personalities. You
Yeah.
know what a personality
Oh, well, I
is,
do
don't
now.
you? Yeah, personality. Famous, ... in
Perth.
Perth.
You have an order of Australia. Yeah,
Yeah.
none of us do, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't get an order of this suburb.
No.
That's not what I hear. That's
Okay.
not what I hear.
Now, Todd, you started off with our tipping point. You're just telling us off air how intense it is when you get in there because you've got a live studio audience. You've got to be up and about for the quiz show.
Well, look, we've filmed our first series now,
Yeah.
so that's 160 shows. So that's a year. You do a year's worth in 3 months, and
How many
plus,
a day?
We shoot 3 to 4 days a week, and we do 4 shows a day.
And do you have to get change your outfit for each show?
I do a couple, like the morning in an outfit and the afternoon in the.
It
gets mixed around.
Even if
Yeah.
I was told to, when we do photo shoots, right, for the year,
Yeah.
and we have to like get
Yeah,
changed
you have to
like
get out of
3
your t-shirt.
times.
Yeah.
You have to
Into
get
another
changed.
t-shirt.
Yeah, you have to get changed 3 times. Every time I'm enraged getting changed, let alone having to do that.
No, it's been great fun though. But the intensity, like I haven't sat on my backside all my career.
Yeah.
And this was just getting in and learning and doing and wanting to make it work. That you can
Yes,
appreciate
of
that.
course.
You guys are number one, and I have been a number one in my
Yep.
my other field, and I really want to make this show
Yeah.
work. And it's working. That's
It's
the
so
great thing.
good.
So over on the East Coast,
Yeah.
we're doing really, really well. And I'm in here because we're trying to win the
new
West.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Win the West.
exactly.
Well,
so
everyone watch it then.
being at 5 o'clock is going to be great. The studio audience is a difference to the
Yeah.
English one. So the
So-
English one is very
It's staged.
sedate.
It's very
It
English.
is.
They're quite
Yes.
happy for the show to finish
Yes.
boring, but we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they queue. We don't like queuing.
Yeah.
And the show itself, though, it has a really good base of
Yes.
viewership, and that's why it's been able to work because
Yes.
of those COVID years.
But
Everybody
you've-
sat at home and
Yeah.
thought they'd take a break.
You've
and watch
given it some
Tipping Point.
tweaks though, because
Yes.
you do a bit of bargaining at the end.
Do a bit of bargaining.
Yeah.
So you've got this your different rounds. You've got you start off with your buzzer round, then
Yeah.
you go into a quick fire, then you go head to head. That's quite good. That's a bit
Yeah.
more like
Yes.
banter in radio.
Yes.
I like that.
Then you go in the jackpot round. Now, if you don't get the jackpot counter over the tipping
for
point,
$20,000.
you've got all your money sitting in the bank that's
Mm.
yours to take home, and then it's where I've become a used car salesman,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, that's a nice
And
vehicle, but let me get you a bigger, brighter one."
Yes.
And I'll offer, depending on where that jackpot counter is, I've offered 40,
40,000 and
50,
holidays
really?
to the Maldives.
100,000
You love a
been
holiday
offered.
to the Maldives.
Oh yes, that they just go, yes, I'll
Yeah,
go.
that often
Yeah, yeah.
tips
Even
them
if they
over,
got no
doesn't it?
chance.
So
and you
this
go,
is
"What
for
are you
them to
doing?"
take a bit of a punt on
Yes.
using 3 or 4 more counters to get the
Exactly. And
And
so,
So
it's,
have you ever gone rogue and offered something that the network is not willing to
The
give?
producer in my ear saying, halt.
settle down.
We don't have the budget left.
You're getting 10 lions.
Yeah,
When I first saw Tipping Point, obviously with the general knowledge questions, machines you try to play on, but the counter machine
Yes.
just takes you back to when you've been to 100 fairs along as you're a kid, when you put the 20 cents in, and then you're just trying to bang
It's
the
a great
corner.
leveler because you can be the smartest person in the room and the machine lets you down.
You've got to be the quiz master, but the quiz master doesn't necessarily win.
Yeah, that's right.
It's somebody with that bit of pot luck. But you know what? That's why the show is actually being so successful as well. It's because kids are coming home from primary school. They're sitting down watching it. It's got that machine element that they love. Then their parents are watching it. Then the grandparents, if they've got them, they're watching it as well. So it's actually an afternoon show that's bringing a bit more of the family together because everybody's sitting down. So that's been a part of its success.
Nanas would love it. In the Kalgoorlie Fair, you would everyone would take, go along and they'd take their nana and they'd take their nana to that machine and then you'd drop her off there
and you'd leave her there
back there at the end of the day.
It's a bit like my mum with the pokies.
And you didn't even have to answer any questions. It's amazing.
And it was just like under that mark, it was just a sea of nanas.
But how many times did you go to those machines and just sit there and bump them and just try to get as much money out as you can?
It's kind of what I like when we were talking about Jackpot Temptation at the end. I actually feel like I'm on the side of my contestant.
Yes.
And that
you want them to win. Yeah, that's right.
Come on. And then I can't control anything in the machine.
And it's all or nothing. So if they either get all of that or they go home
and tell you what,
empty-handed.
there's a lot of gamblers out there.
Yeah,
they want to take the punt and, I got to tell you, some walk away with it and a lot don't.
Yeah.
I love you've got some little slang terms that you've come up with. So when, Nathan, when the counter falls down and it lands on top of another one, that's what do we call that? Winona.
Oh, a Winona rider. I think that might have been
Why is that a Winona rider? Because it's riding on the back of another one? Or a shoplift?
You can tell I'm in form. No, it doesn't shoplift. No. We've got our egg surfers and our ghost
drops.
Hugging ghost drops that sit in the machine and sort of.
Did you come up with this stuff?
It was some of them. The hugging ghost drop because it gets a bit of static occasionally and it sits and hugs in. It's not magnets behind. Because there's all these theories out there. But, they're actually not.
Oh, you've got tipping point conspiracy
theories.
Oh,
absolutely.
Another setup.
Yeah. Oh no, you can see the magnet dragging it into position.
Todd's really a lizard.
They're not metal. They're plastic.
Yeah.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
We got Todd Woodbridge, Australian legend.
Well, he is, and we've known his tennis career. Nathan was just asking him about when you were younger, and because you mentioned at the age of 12 you started travelling and you had to compete at a really high level then.
Yeah, I left home at 14 to go to the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra, and then started to travel. Did well. By 16, I was going to Europe for 10, 11 weeks to go through the clay court season onto Wimbledon and so forth.
It's so much easier these days because anyone in that same thing, it's connected. Connectivity, you don't feel like you're away from your family as much. Tell them what you went through.
Well, I'm not sure it is easy. I think it actually stops kids from developing some resilience.
Oh, right. I got you because they don't have the detachment.
So back in my day, it's so long ago, but I was allowed one phone call a week to my parents. And
who
you looked at me
that?
like, why couldn't you? Because it was a reverse charge call. It was
so
expensive.
Your parents said you can only call once.
You couldn't afford it. You
so
weren't
make
able
it
to
good.
do it.
You get one away.
Back then it was like 20
prison.
bucks for a phone call.
Yeah.
This is 35, 40 years ago.
So for all the younger people listening right now, how did you correspond with your parents?
We wrote letters.
Will you explain what that is?
Aerograms.
Oh yes, the really lightweight ones. Yes,
and
postcards.
Postcards. Yeah.
There's something I can never get past on postcards is why would you write all your personal business so anyone can read it?
But listen,
it's so strange to me.
You'd say the weather's fantastic. I'm having dinner on the Champs-Elysees at Pizza Pino. I'm looking forward to getting to England to get some decent food.
Yeah. So if there wasn't a lot of personal information divulged, no.
That was.
By the way, my BSB number is.
Please transfer me some cash.
No, yes, that was traveller's checks.
Yeah.
Traveller's checks.
God.
Yeah, you got
they've got it easy today, haven't they?
Todd, did you have a house in Europe? Because there's a lot of the seasons played there.
You lived in America.
I know you're in America, but
no. So we were based out of Orlando in Florida. I lived there for 11 years. And that was great. And then when we had our kids, it was time to come home.
Did you lived on an estate with golfers and other elite athletes, didn't you?
Done your homework?
Yeah.
Yes. one very famous one called Tiger Woods.
Oh, really?
What did he? So he was a tennis player. No.
Yes, no. Tiger loved his
golf
tennis.
cart
I
into a tree.
I used to play golf with him often, and I used to play a lot of tennis with him. He loved tennis, and so he wanted to have a slice backhand. He thought that was the coolest shot, a la Federer, if you like.
Right, okay.
And I tried to explain to him, actually, that's not the one you want. You want a two-hander, but he saw that as the shot to have.
Yeah.
So I used to try and teach him a slice backhand.
When you were playing with Tiger Woods, was that around the time that he was playing with other ladies?
No.
So it wasn't during that
Before
scandal
or after?
period?
It was. I had moved back to Australia, and then he lost focus.
Well, that's what happens. Well, no one was playing tennis. He had the
no
time to fill.
supervision. You were his supervisor. Is that what you're
That's
saying?
right.
So he's going for the
That's
green.
what happens when you have a Todd-shaped hole in your life.
Yes, that's right. You need to fill it.
You turn to endless women.
With cocktail waitresses.
Now, Todd, obviously we know you as one of the greatest ever doubles player that's ever played, a Hall of Fame and everywhere you look. But you were great in singles too, right? So you got to...
Thanks for raising that.
19. Was it 19 in the world?
19 in the world. Made semis in Wimbledon back in 97.
Yeah, so in that run you beat everyone. So Australia's love affair with Pat Rafter, took him down. Playing Pete Sampras and beating him, what was that like?
That's a
Because
big
Pete
deal at the
Sampras was a
time.
big deal.
I didn't beat him in that one. I lost to him in the semi-finals of Wimbledon that year. But I did beat him at Wimbledon, and of course he won it 7 times or whatever he did. But I got him before he'd won it.
So you got him early.
So I got him early,
Yes.
and then I actually
Doesn't
played
matter.
him. I
No one
played him
asks.
3 more times at Wimbledon after that. Won sets, but didn't beat him again. So I got the win.
Righto, what was his Achilles heel?
His Achilles heel. His Achilles heel was Pat Rafter.
He spoke to his parents twice a week.
Made him
Took his
soft.
focus.
Very quick. Pat Rafter used to annoy him because Pat would go into the locker room. No, Pete. One day he'd know you, the next day he didn't, and he didn't like to talk a lot. So he'd be lying on the physio's table, and
Pat would just get in his
Pat
ear.
would just start yapping at him, talking to him, and he'd annoy the living daylights out of
really?
him.
That's
And that's
so
how
funny.
it got under his skin. And
There's so many people would love Pat Rafter to talk to them.
yes,
but,
not Pete
not
Sampras.
Pete Sampras.
No.
Who didn't you like on the tour?
Who didn't I like?
There's always a few.
Well, Goran Ivanisevic used to annoy me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it was because he had a good left-handed serve and I couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
I actually became good mates with him. So it's really quite interesting how once you get past the winning and losing, you get to know somebody's personality. But it's a cutthroat sport, tennis, and you don't want to give too much away.
Did you have someone's literally every time you play them, you knocked them over? Because everybody has a bunny.
Well, not many. I didn't have many bunnies, but I was Andre Agassi's bunny.
Oh, okay. So every time.
It's nice to be involved.
I was the bunny.
Yeah.
At least we were there.
Yeah, exactly.
So bagels or what did you?
No, but I won a set once out of about 6 matches. Not great.
Was that a good feeling of that set?
It was.
Great.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
We got the chance to catch up with Guy Sebastian. You've heard the first half of it, but now he's about to tell us about an up-and-coming artist that he's discovered.
There's someone in Perth that I discovered recently, and he is insane. Like, he's so unbelievably talented, and I'm going to start writing with him. He's only young. His name's Ethan French.
Yep.
And I don't know if he's listening, but he'll
be losing his mind right now for years.
No, he's such a beast of a musician, and I don't know. I just get a bit skeptical of things and a bit cynical because I feel like there's these beast musicians out there that are just kind of struggling. And then, for example, I'm signed to Universal, right? And so they're in a bit of a thing with TikTok at the moment, and so I'm making music, but Universal, who I'm published to, like they're my songwriting publishers. All my music's been taken off, so Antidote's taken off. So your label, everyone's saying, make sure you cover like TikTok and all that sort of stuff. And it feels like you just sort of get knocked around a bit and you just want the music to rise. But what I tell people all the time is I reckon maybe we've had this like overcorrection of like, it feels like anyone can make it, whatever that means. But like, feels like anyone can release music and anyone can do that. But historically, there's only a few people, right? Like the cream rises to the top. And I feel like maybe it's correcting to a more real place where it's like everyone can do this for a living, but not everyone can do it for a living. But I'm so sorry. How do I ignore this? Send to voicemail. My best mate's calling. But I feel like maybe it's not all bad that it's hard for cream to rise to the top, because I think it's going to focus back on just the art and the classic timeless nature of good art, and that cream will rise to the top, you know, but it's hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm venting here. This
Can I quickly say that you're venting, right, Sean? Do you not feel like he's just reading a most beautifully written script the way he just is talking?
You're very articulate.
When Sean speaks for that long, he gets lost about where he is.
I do.
And then you can see the panic on his face because he realises, wait, I've forgotten even what I'm talking about. And then he just keeps using words to see if he can find his way back. And 2 weeks later, he realises that he didn't.
Well, I'm getting a masterclass on how to stay on track. That was really good.
Oh, no. Can I tell you, that is actually one of my favourite things ever, because you sort of realize that talking is an actual gift, and I actually realize that more now than ever by being on The Voice, because you have different coaches, and there's different coaches I've worked with, and one of my favorite things to do is when someone starts talking and I know there's no landing spot for it. I know.
It's thrilling.
No, guys.
I love watching how they try and get through it. It's so funny.
When Sean does it, we literally, Sean looks at, and we literally just lean back and just enjoy the ride, because I'm like, where's this going?
There's sometimes where there's a word that escapes me, and I know these two know the word, where they jump in and decide, like, cheese, I don't know, the word, and they just move back from the microphone, and I'm just drowning.
And radio, I don't care what anyone says. Radio is one of the hardest possible things. It's so much pressure. Like, you can't edit yourself. You can't highlight yourself. It's just whatever comes out is out, and you try to articulate a thought. Like, you lose a word in that moment, and then it's not like a normal conversation. No. You're thinking, oh my God, everyone's listening. Find the word. Find the word.
You get that distinct feeling of something like, when you realise you've gone through a red light. Yeah. That's the feeling.
Did they get me? Oh,
no. Oh, shit. Anyway, you've got 1,000 more interviews to do, so we better let you go.
We love your work, though. We'll talk to you anytime. And a shout out to
Sam's in town, so we should get a little chat with Sam. He's such a legend.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Far out. He's just when you listen to this song, just have a listen to his tone.
Okay.
Like you're looking at me in my studio where I recorded. I recorded the song just there on that piano, and then I had him just in that room recording his vocals. Far out. Like, have a listen to how chocolatey and rich his tone is. I never get tired of listening to him sing.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.